It's that time of the day for you to get comfy, kick back, relax. You are now lounging with the Pearls. Hey loungers, welcome back to our podcast.
Welcome back.
I am Candice.
And I'm Garth.
And you are
Lounging with the
Pearls. Today we have a special guest in our studio. We have Gareth from Northern Bru. Gareth Duncan from Northern Bru in our studio. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
I'm glad. And how are you doing?
It's been a long day. What's today? Wednesday evening,
Yes.
midweek after load shedding on Monday and Tuesday. It's been obviously a stressful business week, but we are excited to have a conversation.
No, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You know, this was out of my comfort zone. You know, you being here is not out of your comfort zone entirely. But today, and I'm going to do it officially. We're inviting you back to talk about, you know, yourself.
Awesome.
And so just putting it out there. So now you can't say no.
Thanks for the platform. I'm always excited to have interesting conversations with amazing people. So happy to be here.
No, cool.
Was het zo uitgevonden, die ouwe hij is vol talent.
Ja.
So,
Just hardworking.
Het is een wegstikkie, but het gaat nog uitkomen, but het gaat hier uitkomen, niet worry mee.
So let's jump straight into it. So how did Northern Bru?
You know, it's a funny story. I'm involved in quite a few businesses, and what I love about it is meeting interesting people in different places. So I actually met my business partner through one of my businesses. He was getting married. We met one randomly for coffee to discuss the plans. It went off well. We ended up having a half an hour conversation. Normally takes 10 minutes. From there, we did his wedding suit. Came out very amazingly. He was happy. Beautiful wedding, etc., etc. Then he said, you know, Gareth, my business needs a relook. I want to use your marketing skills. Let's see what we can do here. Did his company, did a new corporate identity, did his wife's company as well. She's a dentist in Paro, and they were very happy. And then he said, you know, come around. I actually want to show you something. It was about now a year and a half after the wedding. Come around. He says, here you go. And he passes me a glass of beer. I'm like, look, no offense, man. I'm more of a whiskey guy. I don't know me a beer drinker. But he says, look, just have a taste and let me know what you think. And I have a sip. I'm like, one of the best beers I've ever tasted. Although I'm not into beer, I would actually drink this. And he says, no, this is my own brews. And I want to bring you on board, start this craft beer. We want to do it local, do it for our people. Let's see what we can do. And from there, the discussions just grew from there and came up with the concept Kalo Lager. And that's how it started, eh?
Wow, in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. It's a nice story.
So it wasn't like one of those drunken nights, like, yeah, guys, we can actually do
that actually followed. The drunken nights followed. No, it was just serendipity, man, in the sense of the sequence of events, meeting him through one of my business as a client, turned out to be a good friend, and turned out to be a very good business partner as well.
That's awesome. I love those stories. When we had one of our previous guests that also just met one of his partners by chance. And I mean, today he's friends with one of the biggest hip-hop artists in Cape Town. I mean, that's just awesome. And it's
funny how life happens, eh?
Yes, and relationships like that, I think, are just deeply rooted in respect, and you guys grow together. Yeah.
But it's not forced. It's just natural.
Yes,
the personalities
organic,
get along with. There's just some people you can't get along with, and you shouldn't force that. But when there's a natural feeling of things just falling into place, go with it.
Yeah. So sorry, I need to get this right. Northern Bru, is it Brewing Company or Brew Company?
So that's the umbrella company.
Okay.
The Kalo Lager is the first brew of craft beer that's come out.
Okay.
And we recently soft launched the IPA, the Kalo IPA. And we got a big plan for it. We really want to go deep into the craft beer business. It's a very exciting industry to be in, especially for people of color. It's currently very white dominated, so we're trying to push there for our people, which is kind of weird. I mean, look at the Northern Suburbs, predominantly colored people. They love their beer.
Yep.
But there's no representation in the industry. So why not? So that's why, look, it's a very expensive industry to go into, but it's an enjoyable one. It's one of Genre, my business partner's biggest passions. And he literally started brewing in the garage, and we ended up with a brewery now, and
that's awesome. So 2019 the company started, but then 2020
in lockdown, I should add, eh?
In lockdown. Okay.
Yeah.
How did the company adjust to the economic climate at the time?
So we were supposed to launch just before lockdown, and then our lockdown hit, and then obviously no alcohol, no brewing allowed, nothing.
And
So
what
we-
happened to the liquid that was brewed already? I mean, was that a sad story?
Sad stories. Let's just say sad stories.
Oh,
but
gosh.
we had to delay the launch. But it gave us more time to plan properly. I
Okay.
think during that time we made the most of brand evolving. We had a certain look, but we thought, okay, maybe there's time here to improve certain things. And we really made the most of the time to do so. And then in September, Heritage Day in September, we had a launch when we were allowed to start gathering in small amounts. And it was a great day. I mean, perfect weather in the heart of Kales River. People came out in support. I think John and our businessmen, so we've started various businesses, and it's always difficult to get that support initially. But funny thing with alcohol, people come through.
Yeah.
The people come through.
I think
and the
everybody was
support-
thirsty also at
Yeah.
that point.
And we sold out in the first couple of weeks. So it was worth the wait at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you guys sold out 500 liters,
In
and
a
I
couple
think
of weeks, yeah.
yeah, and then you put in your next order.
Yeah, up to 1,000 liters, and we increasing that on a monthly basis. So
Wow, that is amazing.
That is
So,
good.
you guys are very proud to be
Yes.
called the first colored
yeah,
owned brew company.
it's not just color; it's just people of color. I think there's a lot of exciting people of color really staking their claim in terms of delivering quality products. So one of the biggest hurdles we found out early on was the fact that okay, it's a local product. Maybe it's not going to be good as the international brands or the other more established brands. So it was getting people to actually taste it and then respecting the quality, because we put a lot of time and effort. It takes a month to brew Kale Lager. That's a long
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
It's not like a more commercial beer that's brewed in a couple of weeks. It's a month process, and there's a lot of flavor, a lot of effort, and you can really taste it when you have a sip.
Yeah, so my research, and Garth can witness this, I didn't just want you guys to come on, ask the questions, and then I don't understand what goes into it. So from your website, I was like, okay, what is craft beer? From craft beer led me to YouTube. From YouTube, I was like, okay, what is... I thought it was always called hops for some reason, and then I found out it was hops. And then I found out like a cool thing. It's actually a family of cannabis. So, I mean...
So you'll find these cannabis infused beers that they're really
Yeah.
experimenting with because of the close relations. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting things to come.
No, that's cool. And then you also get like your very bitter hop, and then your aromatic.
Yeah.
And I think that is why craft beer is generally known as to be expensive.
100% because of the extra effort, extra ingredients, extra time put into it. But I think for the beer purists, they really appreciate the different tastes, because everybody has their own ideologies or missions. And we really thought that our Kale Lager is a true representation of the taste of people of Kales River. So we want to give that to not only Cape Town, South Africa, and maybe the world.
So what does a representation of Kales River beer taste like?
So we literally in the dead center of the Northern Suburbs, and I think if it's taking Mitchell's Plain out of it now, it's one of the fastest growing communities in the north.
It is.
I mean, everybody knows somebody from Kales River.
Yes.
That's something we're very proud of. And yeah, we just want to extend, rather than growing just in terms of people, we want to grow the product and the exciting things and ambitions that happen in the community. It's a very close-knit community, and we have great stuff. We have fields, we have a bit of rivers, we got good schools, sports, etc. So when I say the taste of Kales River, it's just that exciting, resonance that comes through.
Okay, because I'm very excited to try this Kale Lager.
We must sort you out. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Lisa, our client's relationship manager, couldn't be here today.
Okay,
But we're going
okay.
to organize a special package for you very soon.
Thank you
lekker.
so much. I know, Garth, you have a very
Yeah,
interesting
she was.
question.
I know, like Gareth said earlier on, he's a whiskey guy. Yeah, I think all men just love whiskey. You know? But yeah, I'm a whiskey guy too myself, and yet you are a master marketer of the company that makes craft beer. So how did you get involved with the company?
So, like I said, the relationship between John and I, we had a proven relationship in terms of a professional sense and also a personal sense. We can sit down for hours speaking about our life's experiences, and there's so many relatability angles there, being in businesses, although different industries. And when he offered me the opportunity, I was first like, okay, I'm not a beer drinker. Can I add value here? But the more we got to speaking, we realized the project was bigger than just beer. It was for our community. There's a lot of exciting things happening, but nothing on a bigger scale. And we thought this was a perfect vehicle to do so. We want to sponsor a local sports team. We actually just sponsored the indoor cricket team with a new kit for the season. So there's a lot of exciting things we want to do beyond just the beer. So hopefully we get to achieve that.
Yeah. How did you become accustomed to the taste?
It's a beautiful taste. Once you get it, you're going to understand. Like I said, one of the first hurdles was getting to people to taste it. Look, we're more expensive than most beers on the market because we're starting out. A lot of beers produce thousands and thousands of liters per batch.
But it's also not just that, Gareth. I mean, like I said, when you're doing the research, I found out that it's because of how the hops are added. It's not fermented in the beer. It's not boiled. It's fermented in the beer.
100%.
And then it gets added again afterwards, So that's also where the quality comes in and the taste. And
I wish I could take people behind the scenes because we're very fortunate to get a master brewer on board as our team, as our contract brewer. He's actually from Europe. Literally, he's one of the only qualified master brewers in South Africa. I think there's like 7 or 8. Wow. So to have them from the starting point, it's amazing to have that support.
Makes it easier for you guys also.
100%. We have a vision. Genre is very particular about the taste he wants to bring out. And every batch, it's probably one of the best jobs in the world if you're into beer, to taste and make sure that it's everything quality.
You just spoke about that last night.
This
was a liquor job.
Literally drinking on the job.
Yeah.
I mean, and
can't get fired for that.
No.
No, you can't. What does Renzo Harris, who is the master taster,
Yeah.
what does his job entail?
So he's literally got that best job in the world. So while Genre brewed and tasted, he always needed a second opinion. And Renzo has been blunt, straightforward with him as a brother. And in the beginning it wasn't great, but as things evolved, Renzo said, hey, you're onto something here. And that's where the project really got going.
But how does he, this is just a question I'm going to ask, You said I can fire the difficult ones. How does is it Juan? Genre. How does he trust that what Renzo is tasting is the right thing?
Well, I guess there's a certain level of trust in his brothers, but I mean, they grew up together. They've experienced different things.
Okay.
Genre actually goes beer farm or beer brewery visiting in his off time. Goes to different wine farms, go to different breweries, and actually, there's no. How can I say, because it's my brand, I'm only going to drink my beer. There's a certain of understanding and camaraderie amongst other brewers. And that's the ethos of beer. If you go to Europe, all the beers are named after the territories they're from.
Okay.
So it's not really just brand orientated, it's territorial. So that's what we have kind of in Cape Town. We have Stellenbosch, which is Stellenbosch. We got Darling Brew, which is out in Darling. We got Devil's Peak, which is out here near Devil's Peak Mountains. And now we got Kayla Lager.
Yeah, and it's a Caledon.
Here we go. 100%.
That is so cool. And then one of my other questions that I know I want to ask you. It was about the tasting. Hey, jy net toch. See, mouth is watering. Oh, about Genre. He's got experience in production. So how did he take his passion? So besides meeting you and formulating this idea, how did he take it from just a passion?
So you'll see on the website he's listed as master founder because he's literally been in the trenches before this project was even born. He's been passionate about beer. He used to be, I think, a Castle guy.
Okay.
Then he went on to craft beer and he realized, okay, we leave the commercial beers aside. There's actually more taste and flavor in craft beer. Got experimenting. He said, let me try this out because the home brewing thing became a fad about 2 or 3 years ago. You can actually buy kits to brew at home. Not just your standard pineapple thing that we had in the lockdown. And he started testing and it took him months and months and months to perfect his own brew. And when he was ready, he said, okay, I'm going to take this to someone professional and let's see what we can take or get. And that's how Kayla Lager was born.
So he wasn't just doing brewing or wine production. He actually had other businesses on the side.
Yeah, so he's into the landscaping business. His father started a compost company. He took over that and really evolved it. He comes from, ironically, an IT background and he got into the green side of the business.
Wow.
So he's been involved in that for a number of years now. And you get to a point where work is work. and you really want to take the time to follow your passion, and beer is his passion. I mean, he looks like your beer drinker guy, everything on the beer to the size, and he loves his beer. So he got into it, and I'm there to help him get to the heights we want to reach.
And in February, you guys did a competition for your launch of your Kayla IPA. So what's the difference between the lager and the IPA?
So it's different. It's the different flavor palette, but also the way the beer is brewed. So the IPA is more for the beer purists. It has a deeper beer taste compared to the Kayla lager, which I would say is more our commercial taste at the moment. It's more fruitier, etc. There are still fruity undertones in the IPA, but you can taste the differences. So I would say our beer lovers tend to lean more towards the IPA, which also has a bit of a harder kick. The Kayla lager is more for everybody.
And then what did your what feedback did you get back from your winner?
Look, I was going to say the feedback and support has been amazing. Even if it's just a social media post that's giving nothing away, people are like, I love Kayla lager, which is amazing, you know, because we didn't expect to grow so quickly as we have. We had very modest expectations. We thought, okay, maybe in the first 2 years, just to get it out there and to grow gradually, maybe 1 or 2 bars. But everybody we've approached, I think that's just due to our clever planning around naming after Kales River and how proud the people are of the territory. Now they actually have a product, a world-class product to actually represent it. And the reason why I'm not fearful to say world-class, we're actually entering the African beer competition. So hopefully we get some good news in the next couple of months. They bring in all international tasters down to Cape Town. And Joburg, they're going to have some tastings over the blindfolding tastings. So it's going to be very objective, and hopefully we get some good news and results.
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
That's exciting.
We're quite excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually said everything I wanted to ask.
It's nice being on the side of the mic.
I just thought of another question. You said there's a difference between the lager and the IPA. So because Garth's not a beer drinker, I don't mind drinking this one. Like my favorite is Stella Artois. Because it's just lighter. Is there different, like if Garth must open
Let me actually go
bottle.
there. You're on the right track. Everybody has their own personal taste. One person might like the Kayla lager, one might love it. It's not just for me. I prefer my Heineken or I prefer my Castle Lite. You can't fight that.
Yeah.
You just gotta trust your product, believe in your product, and put it out there, and the right people will follow through. That's just the reality with anything, not just beer. It's wine. It's any drink and taste.
So true.
So it's a very difficult market. You gotta have a thick skin because not everybody's gonna say nice things, especially our people, especially when it comes to the price. But you gotta start somewhere, and you gotta dream, and you gotta follow through with it.
Yeah, but you know, it's nice that you guys were so willing to come onto the podcast to explain, because this is what I also read up about, that craft beer is expensive, like we've mentioned, you know, because of the when the hops are put in, how long it's been fermented, you know, and also because let me just pause there. We've also had another guy on. Maybe you know him, Alistair Bunting from Northern Bru, the energy drink.
I heard about
you
that,
know, so he's also can't market as much or distribute as far as what, because it's quite expensive, you know. But if you come more on shows and give it more airtime, then people will start being educated about what is craft beer, and then, you know, go out and support.
Yeah, it's important to voice this as well, because people come with their own assumptions. Nah, they just want to make money off us or this and that. But it's a specialty product that takes a little extra time, a bit of effort, a bit of more premium ingredients. I compare it to my tailored suits business. I've been in it for 4.5 years now. I get people who support me blindly. They trust me. They see the quality product, and they understand. And there's some people who don't understand. Like, why must I pay you 6,000 for this suit when I can buy a wood suit for 2,000? I said, go to Woods, touch that suit, or feel the suit, and try it on, and come back to me and tell me again. And 60% of those clients come back to me and said, okay, I understand. It's just one of those things. People won't come back because of pride, but that's just the way people is. But we can't focus on the negatives, you know. You got to focus on what you want to achieve and follow through with that.
But I also think, you know, Gareth, and this might just be a very controversial thing I'm going to say, I think the education around alcohol also needs to change. People, I find, are rather gravitating towards the cheap because of the quicker high you get. than enjoying the beer or the liquor.
But that's the thing as well with our guys. If it's something cheaper that you can afford, ek het miskien maar net R20 vandag op my.
Ja, rather by
Maar ek kan nie R50 in 'n koppie. But ek kan met R220 blikkies.
But that's what I tell people. That comes up a lot, but that's not our target market. Then it's people who wants to enjoy a good taste or better or superior taste, and if they're willing to pay for us, then great. That's what we're gonna focus on.
That's nice. That's nice. So, where can people find Kale Lager?
So we stocked in various places in Kuilsrivier, which we're very proud of. But if you want the delivery to your home, Mother City Liquors is the way to go. And hopefully very soon you get to buy it directly from us and we get to meet you. And we're actually building our community right now. So we're running the spit dry competition, which is flown off the shelves. We've got about 800 entries in a couple of weeks, which is amazing. So what we plan to do with that is... Forget email. Email marketing doesn't work anymore. I can tell you that from various business perspectives. But WhatsApp works. So what we deriving from the entries is the name, surname, what area they live in, and their WhatsApp number. And we're just going to stay in touch via WhatsApp.
Oh, that is
That's
genius.
very cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So there's a draft special at the Daily Cafe in Kuilsrivier, R40 for 2, go now until the end of the week.
Yeah, instant broadcast.
100%.
Nice.
100%. And if people want to reply, they can do so.
That's cool. So it's our places. So do you want to mention the places in Kuilsrivier?
Yes, it's just a bit too, and I was like, this place.
Oh, my word.
Okay, Barbaroosas, the Daily Cafe, the Daily Brew Lounge, which is the Brew Lounge in Tiger Waterfront that just newly opened. We got Cattle Baron in Saxonburg. They now passed it on to Cattle Baron Stellenbosch, which is in the ranks now.
Ooh.
So there's about 7-8 places at the moment. Check on our website; they're all available there. We will, if you want any more information, just ask us.
And your website is www.northernbru.co.za, and your Facebook page is the same, and so is your Instagram.
100%.
Gareth, thank you so much for coming through.
No problem.
Yeah, and you coming back, right?
I'm definitely coming back anytime.
Thank you, and send our regards to the rest of the team. You guys are 4 guys, right? Renzo, Jan, John Dre, and yourself.
100%. And Lisa, give a special shout out to Lisa. She's joined on board as our first official employee. So she's a client relationship manager. So we're trying our best to stay in touch with all our stockers, our clients, and she's doing the hard yards in that regard because the reality is I'm busy, Jean is busy with other things, so she's the glue in the middle at the moment.
Yeah.
I know daar's een ding wat ek kan agree, né? I mean, Lisa's op haar pos, ja. Sy ken haar storie. Is er nog mense wat nog voor wag hier en so dis nou boodskap Steve, dan kry ek nou 'n reply. Maar sy is op haar pos.
Yeah, I think the people need to know. We've been planning this for a couple of weeks now.
I'm sick. She's op haar pos, ja.
Yeah, so she will make sure that I'm there and whatever else.
No, but thank you so much for carving out time in your
very
very busy
much,
schedule.
No problem.
And we wish Northern Brew Company all the best.
Thank
for the
you very
future.
much, and we're going to make sure we get this package to you, and then hopefully in the next episode you're going to taste some and let us know what you think.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And thank you, loungers.
Thanks, loungers. Good evening.
You are listening to my auntie and uncle on Lounging with the Pomels.
It's all about real talk and facts when you're lounging with the Pomels podcast.